Welcome to video lecture series on operating systems. Myself, Dr. Prakash Chungi. In this session, I will be covering the paging. In the previous classes, we discussed about contiguous memory allocation. The problems of the contiguous memory allocation can be solved by using the paging. Physical address space of a process can be non-contiguous. Process is allocated physical memory whenever the latter is available. The paging technique avoids the external fragmentation, avoids problem of varying sized memory chunks. Divide physical memory into fixed size blocks called frames, and the size is 2 power of 2 between 512 bytes and 16 bytes, and it 16 MB, and it may vary depending on the operating systems. That is, we divide the physical memory into frames and we divide the logical memory into blocks of same size called pages. Therefore, physical memory is divided into frames and logical memory is divided into the pages. And our requirement is to map logical memory into physical memory. We have to keep track of all the free frames. To run a program of size n pages, need to find n free frames and load the program. That is, when the program requires n pages here, that is the logical memory, we have to search for the n free frames from this physical memory. For this, we require the page table. We have to set up the page table to translate logical to physical address. Similarly, the backing store, or we can call it as the secondary storage, we have to split into pages, and still we are left with the internal fragmentation. Example, suppose if we require the 1024 bytes, that is the page size is 1024 bytes, and we require only 1000 bytes for the process, then remaining 24 bytes is a wastage. This wastage is called as internal fragmentation. Let us see the address translation scheme. Address generated by CPU is divided into page number P, used as an index into a page table which contains base address of each page in the physical memory. And we are having the page offset D combined with base address to define the physical memory address that is sent to the memory unit. So here in the diagram we can see we are having the page number P containing the m minus n bytes and page offset D containing the n bytes. For given logical address space 2:m and page size 2:n. Let us see the paging hardware here. In the paging hardware, the CPU generates the logical address containing the page number and also offset D. Next one is we are having the page table which contains the base address of all the physical frames available in the system. Then we are using this page number as an index to find the corresponding frame number from the page table. Using the frame number obtained and using the offset D, we generate the physical address. F, D together is called as physical address. P, D is called as a logical address. Using the physical address, we connect to the physical memory and we access the data from the physical memory. Here in the diagram, the F with zeros indicate the starting address and F with all the ones indicate the end address. Paging model of logical and also physical memory. For having the logical memory containing the page 0, 1, 2, 3, we are having the page table here. So 0, 1, 2, 3 are called as the P here, and corresponding frame numbers are 1, 4, 3, 7. When we check this frame number 1 here, frame number 1 contains the page number 0, which is mentioned in the table. Similarly, the frame number 4 contains the page number 1. Frame number 3 contains the page number 2, and frame number 7 contains the page number 3. And these are the frame numbers here, and we are having the corresponding information in the physical memory. Let us see one paging example. In this case, we are having the logical memory from 0 to 15, and each page is of size 4 here. Therefore, n equal to 2. That is, to identify the one information or one character or one memory location, we require the 2 bits. 2:2, that is equal to 4 here. And since there are 4 pages, to identify the 4 pages, we require 2 bits. 2:2, that is 4 here. That is what this is the first page, second page, third page, fourth page. Therefore, here n equal to 2 and m equal to 4 here. 32 bit here we are having the 32 byte memory and also 4 byte pages. In the previous slide, we have seen the page number P requires m minus n bytes. That is m minus n equal to 4 minus 2, that is 2 here. So that is we require the 2 bits for the 2 pages and 2 bits for the information inside of the page. Here in the diagram, you can observe that the n equal to 2 here and m minus n, that is m equal to 4 here, 4 minus 2, that is 2 here. Let us see the example of the internal fragmentation. Assume that the page size equal to 2048 bytes and process size is 72,766 bytes, and if we divide the 72,766 by 2048, we get the 35. We require 35 pages plus the remainder is 1086 bytes. Then the internal fragmentation can be calculated as 2048 minus 1086, that is 962 bytes. One more example of the calculation of internal fragmentation. Suppose we take the page size equal to 2048 bytes and we assume that we require 2000 bytes. Then we have to allocate one page. The remaining, that is 2048 minus 2000, that is 48 bytes is the internal fragmentation. The worst case fragmentation is 1 frame minus 1 byte. On average, fragmentation is half frame size. So the question arises, is a small frame size desirable? But it is not true, because each page table entry takes memory to track and page size is growing over time. Therefore, the frame size should not be too large and should not be too less. The operating system Solaris supports 2 page sizes, that is 8 KB and also 4 MB. Process view and also physical memory now are very different here. By implementation, process can only access its own memory. Let us see the free frames. We are having in the diagram, you can observe that we are having the free frame list here, 14, 13, 18, 20 and also 15. And a new process arrives in the system which requires 4 pages. Now this is the main memory which is initially free. This is before allocation. And after the allocation, what we do is, for the page number 0, we take the free frame, that is 14 here. Therefore 0 is allocated to 14. Similarly 1 we allocate 13, 2 we allocate 18 and 3 we allocate 20 here. And we are left with, after allocating these 4 frames, we are left with 15. Therefore free frame list contains only 15. And correspondingly we add the information into the physical memory. That is frame number 14, page number 0, and page number 13, page number 1, frame number 18, page number 2, and frame number 20, page number 3. And this is called as after allocation. In the diagram, this table is called as new process page table. Regarding the implementation of the page table is kept in the main memory. This is one technique. Similarly, one more technique is we can implement the page table using the hardware registers, but hardware registers are costly and the number of registers are less. Therefore, it is not feasible to implement using the page table. Therefore, we go for the technique called as the memory technique. So that is page table is kept in the main memory. Page table base register PTBR points to the page table, and page table length register PTLR indicates size of the page table. In this scheme, every data instruction access requires 2 memory accesses, one for the page table and one for the data instruction. The 2 memory access problem can be solved by the use of a special fast lookup hardware cache called associative memory or translation look aside buffer or TLB. Associative memory is also called as parallel memory. Implementation of page table. Some TLB store address specific identifiers ACIDs in each TLB entry. Uniquely identifies each process to provide address space protection for that process. Otherwise, we have to flush at every context switch. TLB is typically small, 64 to 1024 entries, because TLBs are designed using the cache memory. On a TLB miss, value is loaded into the TLB for faster access next time. Replacement policies must be considered. Here in the virtual memory technique, we discussed about the different page replacement technique. Those techniques can be utilized for the TLB also. Some entries can be wired down for permanent fast access. Wire down indicates the permanent entries. Let us see the paging hardware with the TLB. Let us see the paging hardware with the TLB. As shown in the diagram, this part shows the TLB, or this part is translation look aside buffer. The important feature of the transaction lookup set buffer is it is designed using the cache memory and it is a parallel search memory. Normally when we search the memory locations, here we search one by one in a linear fashion. That is, when suppose if you want to search for the data in the memory, we compare this element with the first element. If there is success, we say that search is successful. Otherwise, the search is failure. Then we go for the next element. This process will be continued until we search all the entries. This is called as linear search. But in the case of parallel search, whenever we give the information, this element will be compared with all the elements at the same time. For this, only software is not sufficient. We require the hardware support, that is TLB here. When the page number P is submitted here, it is compared with all the elements here, and we get the, suppose whenever there is a match, we get the corresponding frame number here. Now let us see how the transition, this paging hardware using the TLB works. So when the CPU generates a logical address P, D, and this P is compared with all the elements available in this TLB. If there is a match, then the corresponding frame number is obtained. This is called as a TLB hit. If the page number is not obtained in the TLB, then we go for the page table. This is called as TLB miss. It is like a regular page table search, and here we use the P as a index to find the corresponding F here. And using the frame number obtained either using the TLB hit or using the TLB miss, we use the F and also this corresponding offset D, and we generate the physical address. Suppose if you eliminate this TLB, it is like a regular paging hardware. Calculation of effective access time. Associative lookup, or we can call it as a parallel lookup, E time unit. Okay. So here we are using notation E for the time required to search for the associative lookup. Can be 10% of memory access time. Hit ratio equal to alpha. Hit ratio is the percentage of times that a page number is found in the associative registers. Ratio related to number of associative registers. Consider alpha equal to 80% and E equal to 20 nanosecond for TLB search. That is, whenever we give the data for searching in the TLB, there is a probability that 80% of time the data is obtained in the TLB. E equal to 20 nanosecond. That is, the time required to access the TLB is 20 nanosecond, and 100 nanosecond is the time required to search in the main memory. Effective access time EAT equal to 1 plus E alpha, where E is the associative look and alpha is the hit ratio, and 2 plus E into bracket 1 minus alpha. The formula is 2 plus E minus alpha. We can calculate, we can take the example here. Consider alpha equal to 80% and E equal to 20 nanosecond for TLB search, 100 nanosecond for memory access. Then we can find the effective access time, which is equal to 0.80 into, here this is the 80%, we can convert into 0.80 into. Then the time required to access the main memory is 100 here, 0.80 into 100 plus. So 0.20 is called as miss ratio. So here we are having the hit ratio, and whenever there is a miss, we call it as miss ratio. So miss ratio obtained by 100 minus 80, that is 20%, and it is equal to 0.20. 0.20 into 200 here. Whenever there is a TLB miss, okay, first we have to search for the TLB, then we have to search for the information in the main memory for the page table, then we have to access the main memory also. Therefore, we require the 2 times of the memory here, time 0.20 to 220 here, 200 here, which is equal to 120 nanosecond. Regarding the effective access time, in some textbooks they calculate using this method. Here this part is for hit part, 0.80 into, instead of 100 they take this TLB search time also, 20 plus 100, that is 120. And for this part 0.20 plus into 200 here, 200, that is 100 nanosecond for memory access, 100 nanosecond for the page table search, and 20 nanosecond for TLB search, that is 200 here. That is 0.80 into 120 plus 0.20 into 220, which comes out to be 140 nanosecond. So let us see one more example here. When alpha equal to 0.99% and E equal to 20 nanosecond for TLB search, then EAT equal to 0.99 into 100 plus 0.01 into 200, that is equal to 100 nanosecond. As I told you, suppose if we consider the, instead of 100, if you consider the 120, 100 plus 20, 120, and here instead of 200 here, 220, then it comes out to be, answer is 122 nanosecond. Thank you.